Are you dealing with a disrespectful teenager? Maybe your teenage son frequently walks off when you ask him to do something. Or maybe you've received feedback from your teenage daughter's school that she's been rude to her teachers. If so, this video is for you. Disrespect toward parents and other authority figures is common as teens transition from childhood to adulthood. But of course, you can't simply overlook it. You need to teach your teens to be respectful. Here's tip number 1 for how you can do that. Model respectful behavior for your teens. While words are important, actions and examples are a much more powerful tool when it comes to helping teens learn to be respectful. That's why it's important to model respectful behavior for your teens. For example, do you speak politely to the people who work at the grocery store? How do you react when the waiter at a restaurant gets your order wrong? You might feel annoyed, but do you still speak to him calmly and respectfully? If you tell your teens to manage their anger, but you frequently lose your cool when other drivers cut you off on the road, it will be hard for your teens to take your advice seriously. Show your teens the same respect and kindness you encourage them to show others. Of course, I'm not saying you should let your teens walk all over you. After all, you're the parent and they're your children. You have the position of authority and you're the leader of your family. But if you're impatient, frustrated, and annoyed, most of the time when you speak with them, it's unlikely that they'll be respectful toward you in return. It's definitely not about treating your teens as if they're the most important people in the family. It's about creating a family culture of respect. I encourage you to use words like please and thank you when speaking to your family members. And don't interrupt them when they're speaking. By consistently demonstrating respectful behavior, you're not just teaching your teenager how to behave. You're showing them the power of kindness and respect in making the world a better place, one small action at a time. I'm Daniel Wong, and I specialize in helping teens to thrive. Let's move on to tip number 2. Listen to your teens when they're frustrated instead of lecturing them. This is one of the best ways to teach your teens about respect and understanding. Imagine a situation where your teenage daughter storms into the living room with a frown on her face. You might not feel like dealing with all these big teenage emotions right now, but you take a deep breath and ask her, "Hey, what's going on? You seem upset." She might start complaining about her teacher and what annoying things her teacher did. At this point, you might be tempted to jump in with your own opinions. You might really feel like telling her that life is full of unreasonable people, so she should get used to it. But instead, you hear her out and nod along to show that you're really listening. Then you say, "It sounds like you feel as if your teacher is picking on you for no good reason." This shows her that her feelings matter, even if you don't necessarily agree with everything she's saying. Later, when she's calm, you can help her work through her feelings and see things from a different perspective. When you listen to your teens when they're sharing their frustrations, you're helping them process their emotions so they can respond better to big and overwhelming feelings. Why does this matter? Because when teens are being disrespectful, they're almost always dealing with big and overwhelming feelings like anger, disappointment, anxiety, sadness, shame, or jealousy. The better your teens are able to manage their emotions, the more respectful they'll be. So, to summarize, do more listening and less lecturing, more connecting and less criticizing. Tip number 3. Point out your teens' disrespectful behavior in an empathetic way. I've spent many thousands of hours coaching teens around the world one-to-one. One thing I've learned is that teens almost never intend to be disrespectful. They just think that other people are being unreasonable or even ridiculous. That's why when parents say to their teenagers, "Don't be rude," one of the most common responses that teenagers give is, "I'm not being rude." Teenagers feel as if they're just sharing their opinions and feelings. So keep in mind that your teen's disrespectful or rebellious behavior isn't really directed at you. Their bad behavior is just a way of communicating their unmet needs. So don't take it personally. To teach your teens to be respectful, separate their actions from who they are as people. When they make mistakes, make it clear that you're concerned about their behavior, but that your love for them is unconditional. As Dr. Becky Kennedy talks about, it's crucial to see your difficult teens as good kids who are going through a tough time. They're not bad kids who are intentionally misbehaving just to frustrate and anger you. Once your teenagers start thinking of themselves as bad kids, their bad behavior is guaranteed to multiply. So when your teens display challenging behavior, try to get to the root issue. How are they feeling? What are they struggling with? What's bothering them? You're not with them when they're in school or when they're with their friends, so you don't always know what's going on in their lives. This means that you need to approach difficult issues and conversations first by seeking to really understand what's going on. This requires patience and empathy. Remind yourself of this as often as you can. Teens don't change when they understand why they should change. They change when they feel understood. If you're finding this video helpful so far, please click the like button. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss out on future videos about helping teens to thrive. Quick question: what disrespectful behavior does your teen display? Leave a comment below to let me know your answer. Tip number 4. Acknowledge your teen's respectful behavior. You can do this by making specific and descriptive comments when you see your teens demonstrating respectful behavior. When you do this, you're reinforcing their understanding of what respectful behavior looks like. You're encouraging them to continue practicing this behavior. For example, let's say you have a teenage son who's in the habit of annoying and mocking his younger brother. I'll call your teenage son Mike, and I'll call his younger brother Dylan. Every time Dylan complains about something, Mike immediately says in a mocking tone, "Why are you always so whiny, Dylan?" But one time, when Dylan starts grumbling about how there's so much homework to do, Mike intentionally remains silent. Later that day, when you're alone with Mike, you could say something like this to him. "Just now, when Dylan was complaining about his homework, I noticed that you kept quiet and didn't mock him. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate you trying to keep the peace at home." You might be thinking, why should I even need to make an effort to acknowledge that kind of behavior? It's just basic respect not to be mean to your sibling. I completely understand where you're coming from. But let me ask you, if you have a job, is it reasonable for your boss to expect you to stay focused at work and get all the necessary work done every day? You'd probably answer yes to that question. But would you still appreciate it if your boss acknowledges your effort and good work? All of us would. It's a similar thing with your teens. Yes, they should behave respectfully all the time, but they'll still appreciate it if you make sincere comments when you observe their positive behavior. By acknowledging your teens' respectful words and actions, your teens will be more likely to continue behaving respectfully. This is just like how you'll feel more motivated to work hard if your boss expresses appreciation for your contributions at work. Tip number 5. Encourage your teens to serve others. Teens are often in their own world where everything seems to revolve around them. They're thinking about what they want to do, what fun they want to have, what food they want to eat, what goals they want to achieve, etc. Respect is about focusing on others. When teens focus too much on themselves, they're more likely to develop disrespectful tendencies. This is one reason why serving others is so important. When you serve others, it's like putting on a pair of glasses with colored lenses that are tinted with compassion and empathy. When your teenagers serve others, they see the world from a different perspective. This can change everything. Your teenagers begin to step out of the me zone and into the we zone, where kindness and respect flourish. Whether it's serving meals at a soup kitchen, connecting with residents at a nursing home, or reading to children at the library, there are many ways for your teens to contribute. To make it easier for your teens, try getting involved as a family for a start. You'll bond with your teens while also building a family culture of kindness, contribution, and respect. Now you know these 5 proven tips to teach your teen to be respectful. But does your teen also lack motivation? If so, I have a free resource for you. It's this free ebook I've written entitled 16 Keys to Motivating Your Teenager. Visit danielwong.com/ebook to download the ebook today. Make sure to put all the letters in lowercase. I've also included the download link in the description below. And here's this other video I've created about the mistake 99.99% of parents make, which causes their teens to become irresponsible. It's crucial to make sure you're not making this mistake, so watch this video next. You'll find it useful.